Hey guys, this is Steve Huff from SteveHuffPhoto.com. I'm here today at a place called The Deuce in Phoenix, Arizona, and I have with me a Leica M10, check this out, with the Voigtlander 40mm f1.2. Now it's a little loud in here and I have a speaker above me and they're all over the place blasting Elvis right now, so I'm hoping that my voice is overpowering that because I am using a lav mic. But I have the Leica M10 with the Voigtlander 40 f1.2. I also have the 40 f1.2 E-mount. You can see the difference in size right here, with the M-mount being much smaller and the E-mount being much fatter. They're both supposedly the same optical formula according to Voigtlander. But I saw some differences in my first tests, but I'm going to walk around here and do some side-by-side comparisons between the two. But the cool thing is I've already reviewed the E-mount version of the lens, and it is a phenomenal lens. It's manual focus. You can throw it on any Sony camera. This is the A7RIII. And when you turn the focus knob, it will auto-magnify, so you can easily select or nail your focus, because it's going to blow up your focus point where you want to focus. You nail it in, press the button, and you're in focus. The M-mount, of course, is rangefinder coupled, so you're going to use that rangefinder to focus the lens. So right here, I try to get it in focus. I'm too close. There we are. And then I can take this picture. Now, the M-mount version, there is a con. It's going to bring up the 50mm frame lines. It's a 40mm lens, so you're between 35 and 50. So it's a little odd because when you're using the 50mm frame lines, you just know you're going to get more in the frame. So you kind of have to make a mental note of that. So I see where the frame lines are now for 50, but then I just go a little wider in my head, and then I can see what's going to happen. But is there a difference between the E-mount version and the M-mount version? Because we can also put that M-mount version onto the Sony camera to have an even smaller version of the lens. So which one's better to get? I will say that if I owned a Sony, an A7RIII, A9, what have you, I would buy the Sony version. Mainly because it does that auto magnify when you turn the focus ring, and it's not going to do that with the M-mount because the E-mount has the electrical contacts and it will record your aperture, it will record the EXIF data. So there are benefits to owning the larger Sony version, but what I want to know is the M version superior to the E-mount? So I'm going to go take some shots, some comparison side-by-sides, and we will see if there is a difference, because I'm going to use the M-mount on the M-mount on the Sony, and of course the Sony mount on the Sony. So let's go take a look around.
Don't worry guys, this will be quick. I'm just going to show a few samples as Debbie and I walked around The Deuce. It's a really fun place in Phoenix. Check it out if you're in Phoenix. Good times, good food, good drink, all that good stuff. And I have to say, using the M and the Sony next to each other was pretty cool. The M gave me the more emotional, fun experience. The Sony gave me the, you know, it's going to be reliable and amazing experience. But here's a few comparison photos. The first one is of Debbie. So this one I shot with the Leica M10 and the 40 M mount, of course. F1.2 wide open. You can see the color signature, which I thought was coming from the Leica camera, because you'll see the difference in the Sony coming up right here. It's a little bit warmer of a color signature from Sony, not as sharp with the E-mount version of the lens on the Sony A7RIII. This next photo is with the M-mount on the A7RIII, and it brings back that color signature of the M-mount, or the M10 shot, from what I'm seeing with my eyes. Now my aging eyes are aging, so I could be wrong, but I do see a lot of color differences coming from the lenses, especially these days. Here's another shot with the M10 of just a cup with a flower and a menu to show you the depth of field at 1.2 that you can get. Now, somehow accidentally, the Sony shot, which you'll see next, the lens is so easy, the Sony lens is so easy to switch from f1.2 to f1.4, and it accidentally got knocked to f1.4, as you can see with the hexagonal bokeh. And some you have the cat's eye bokeh, and some you have the hexagonal at f1.4. It was interesting, different but interesting for sure. Here's a shot with the M10 40 f1.2, of course, at M12, the M mount, because that's all you can use on the Leica M10. So this next shot is from the Sony. It's a little duller, the color's a little less vibrant. Now these are straight from RAW, people. These are straight from RAW, so you are seeing the differences in the RAW files here from Sony to Leica. Here's the Leica with the M10 at f1.2. You can see the bokeh. It's a little busy when you have this much blurred background in your photo, but I did want to put this through a bokeh torture test. Here is the Sony. Again, a little duller, not as poppy, but you can, of course, turn this Sony file into a file that has more pop. Now, what's interesting, when I first tested this out, I was in a cemetery. Here's the M10 with the 40 f1.2 M mount at f1.2. This is really interesting. Notice the bokeh, the depth of field here, the shot. I want to take this shot exactly the same way with the Sony A7RIII and the E-mount version of this lens. The depth of field is wider. I mean, it's less shallow, and it's at the same aperture, f1.2. You can see the photos over at stevehufffphoto.com, but I found this to be interesting, and some of the comments over at the website, stevehufffphoto.com, explain why this could be. Here's another shot of my Mazda RF, my MX-5 RF. I love this car. I'm actually thinking of doing a review, an owner's review of this car. I've had it almost, since it came out, almost a year, and this is with the M10, and here's with the A7RIII. These shots look pretty similar, but again, at stevehufffphoto.com, you can see them with a little more pop. Right now, that's about it for the photos. I'm going to eat lunch at the Deuce with Debbie. We're going to have some food. I'm eating some peanut butter and banana and honey sliders. They're actually delicious. Debbie was eating mashed potatoes, and of course, we had our favorite Orange Blossom beer to go with it.
All right, here's a mini food review. These are peanut butter and banana and honey sliders. So all we have on there are peanut butter, banana, and honey. And they're actually quite delicious.
Be sure to subscribe and thumbs up if you like this. I'm going to have some new videos soon, which includes a full review of this 40 f1.2, as well as my thoughts on the Leica M10 after acquiring one again, after going a year without shooting an M. So subscribe if you want to see more, thumbs up if you like it, and check out stevehufffphoto.com for the written articles and reviews that go along with these videos. Thanks, guys. I will see you next time.